My name is Shia Marí. I'm from North London, but country-wise I'm from Jamaica. And I am an R&B artist. I make music, I sing, I dance, I act, I do it all. I got into what I do through, like when I was younger, I did a lot of choir stuff. So I was in the church, I did choir performances. At school, I did all the school plays and the school musicals. I just always had to be front center, have the spotlight on me, you know? Being in the choir taught me how to be really creative with harmonies. I love a choir harmony, so I try to incorporate that into my music as much as possible. I do what I do because I just have this deep passion for being on camera and for like, I don't know how to explain it. Ever since I was younger, I've always been told that I'm gonna be a star, I've got star quality, and I just see that in myself as well. I just want to be a star. The music came first, definitely. Music has always been a constant in my life. So being a star, that's just what I see in myself when I think of how good can I be in music. I just think I'm a star. I can be a star. I'm more than capable. So I don't think that is a bad way to look at it. If anything, I feel like it motivates me more because I know what I'm capable of and I know what I can be. You know what? I don't I wouldn't say that the UK does have that infrastructure to create stars like America does, but because I feel I have such belief in my sound and how it can appeal to all, I feel like I can do it. Not everyone can do it unless you're like really, really, really special, unless you've got something about you that I think I have that. So I think I can do it. I think the difference is the goal that I have in mind. I want to go global. I think that I can go global, and I feel like how you're driven is a big part of what you can do and how far you can go. So I'm a big dreamer. I dream for the most and the best of everything. So I feel like that sets me apart from a lot of other people. My goals and ambitions, I would say, is to be a role model. I really would like to be a role model. I would like to be that female figure that other young black girls could look up to and be like, I want to be like her, you know? That's important to me because, especially growing up in the UK, there's not that many, well, there wasn't that many black females doing a lot that you could look up to. So yeah, that's the little girl in me is wanting to be that person for other little girls so that they can have big dreams and know that no matter what you look like, where you come from, your history, your background, you can do it if you believe. I think that the Spice Girls were revolutionary for women everywhere. Like, the Spice Girls gave you so much confidence every time you listen to them. And I feel like that's so important for a woman as well, or a young girl being anywhere, to know that you have an anthem, a song, which the Spice Girls created many, many times. You know, I'll tell you what I really want. I love that song, you know? So, you know, every time I listen to that song, I feel like a bad bee. I feel like, you know, I can do everything. So I feel like that's really important. So when I was younger, I played a lot of instruments. I played the clarinet, the violin, the recorder, the piano, and the guitar. Not so much now. I'm trying to get back into it. I did a lot of extracurricular activities. My mum put me in performing arts clubs, and I did cheerleading for a long time. And yeah, I'm from Jamaica as well, which is a really big part of who I am, my culture, my country. I am trying to make more music that kind of shows where I come from and who I am. But I've got loads of things in store that will come soon to kind of express that and give you a bit more insight into my Jamaican side as well. I do have plans to pursue acting as a career, but because music is my main focus right now, I do want to put my all into music, and acting is something that I'm trying to do on the side. I'm trying to do like little auditions, little castings here and there to start off with smaller projects so I get a bit more comfortable into it. But yeah, hopefully some acting things will come out soon. The three words that define me, I think, would be strong, resilient, confident. In the next 5 years, I see my name in lights. I see me taking over the world. I see my music being played everywhere. I just see myself accomplishing everything that I want to accomplish. I know it sounds like a long time, but it could also be seen as a short amount of time. But I feel like if I stay doing what I'm doing now in 5 years, I can have everything I want. As an artist, I've definitely made a few mistakes that have delayed my progress. So my biggest mistake would be seeking management. I thought for a long time I needed to have a manager. I need to have a manager. And in the long run, I feel like uh, that did slow me down a bit. But now I am back being independent. I've got full control over my career and what I do. I feel like now I'm on the right track. I would like to stay that way unless it's someone I genuinely know, I genuinely trust, that has my best interest at heart. Ooh. I get my inspiration from I get my inspiration from musical baddies like Beyonce. Beyonce, she she inspires me so much, especially her Destiny's Child days. That's my favorite ever girl group. So a lot of the things I do is trying to emulate the sound of Destiny's Child and the dancing, the outfits. That's literally my vision. So my creative process, it's nothing special to be honest. When I write music, it's really about whatever is on my mind or on my heart at the time. I do try to be I try to make my music as catchy as possible so that, in this society where if it hasn't caught people's attention in the first 5 seconds, then it's really unlikely that it will go fast. So again, I try to think of a catchy line or something that's a bit relatable to females in particular, because that is my audience. And then I go from there. I just write whatever's on my heart, whatever's on my head, and whatever I feel like is relatable. One thing I'm very focused on is not selling out or selling myself short. Everything I do will be completely authentic to my brand and who I am. So to do things to get people's attention, it would be something that is who I am, not something for 5 seconds of fame, not something to compete with somebody else, or it's always about showing you who I am and getting people to relate to my experiences. Ooh, my substance. My substance comes from, I would say, the things that I've experienced. I haven't had the easiest run. Um, I did move out of my parents' house when I was 16. So everything has been a bit of a learning experience for me. And I feel like as well, when you go through hard experiences, it does change who you are and how you see things. So yeah, I feel like my substance, my realness comes from all the things that I've had to persevere through and overcome to be the strong woman I am today. And I do have a very big personality. I'm always laughing, always giggling, always the class clown. And yeah, that comes from the hard things that I've experienced that I don't, I try to make life as happy as possible. Because I've been through so many difficult things, I'm always trying to be happy and be the life of the party and make the people happy around me. I wouldn't say it was the craziest thing. I would say it was the biggest thing, the most biggest inconvenience ever, like that I could have dealt with on stage. One time I was performing at the O2 Islington, and the DJ at the time, I don't know if he didn't like me, if he didn't like my sound, if he didn't like my music, but he was he was messing up my set from the beginning. Just like the music was cutting in and out, and I was dancing with my dancers at the time as well. So you know how if you're a dancer, you need your music to be on point for you and your dancers to be in sync. So it was just looking a mess because my music wasn't right, and I was trying so hard to keep going. It got to the point where I had to start counting out loud with my girls, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, because I was not letting him ruin how hard we had worked and how hard we had rehearsed. And in the end, it turned out to be great that people didn't even notice that these issues were happening. But as the artist, I will always notice if things aren't perfect. I don't think the DJ was trying to highlight any other artist. Actually, he could have been. I'm not sure. I didn't know him personally. I didn't have words with him after anything because after my music had messed up, I was just trying to go home. I was not happy. But as what I think it was, I was the only female performer of the night. So everyone else was men, and I'm male rappers with their groups, their crew, and I was being sized up from the minute I walked in there. I know they were all thinking, well, who's this girl? What's she gonna do? Because we're all men here. And I feel like that was the energy. It was more so because I was a woman rather than trying to highlight anybody else in particular. The pros and cons of being a woman in the music industry. I'll start with the cons because that's what I experience more of. I would say it's the energy towards being a female. So there's certain, if you're not that type of female artist that's really comfortable with showing their body, and you know what, I'm not hating on you girls that do your thing. Love that for you. Me personally, I like to be clothed. So yeah, if you're not that type of artist, it is really hard to be noticed and to have people even pay attention to you because there's no gimmick. You know, as a female, it's really important to go far quickly. I would say gimmicks is the biggest thing. But me, I'm trying to just let my music speak for itself, and my personality. So yeah, I don't really go down that route. Or another con I would say would be people feeling like they can take advantage of you because you're a woman. They feel like, because I'm a girl, I'm not going to hit you. Just letting you know I might hit you. So yeah, that's the thing. As most people won't try and play with a man because the man's strength, you know, and with females, they feel like they can do little things and it won't be that big a deal because she's just a girl, she's not going to do anything. But yeah, that's the biggest con for me. Pros now. Pros as being a female artist, I would say the female community. I've had loads of other female artists that are so supportive because they know how hard it is for us in general. So when we see each other, it's like, yeah, female artists, we're best friends now. I got you. We share social medias and then we just interact with each other. It's a proper community with females, especially in London. So yeah, I would say that's the best part. Being an artist does help me in every aspect of my life, I think, because a lot of things don't bother me. Like, I feel like they bother other people that don't have that community, that drive, that dream. So in terms of like being at work, when I go to work, I treat work as this is just a pit stop. This is just temporary. In 5 years' time, I'm gonna be somewhere else, living my dream, doing what I have to do, you know? So yeah, being an artist definitely helps me in everything. It just gives me so much motivation and I don't take things as seriously. So at work, if something goes wrong or if there's negative energy at work, I find it easier to kind of dismiss it because this is just my pit stop. In a few years' time, I will not be here. I realized that positive energy and not taking things as seriously would take me a lot further when I saw how much of a dark space I was going to by dwelling on it. So when I was about 17, I had to go to therapy because I was just dwelling on all the negative things that I have experienced, and I was just going deeper and deeper into this dark space where I couldn't even recognize myself. And I actually had to think about where I was going with my life and where I was going. Having that negative aura or just staying stuck in the trauma was never gonna get me anywhere. It was just gonna keep me there. So when you change your attitude, you realize how many more doors open up for you and how looking at life with a different perspective, it really brings out the best of life. I'm always up for collaborating with other artists. The main thing that I look for is compatibility. Like, do our sounds blend well together? And also, how well is the other artist able to write to fit the vibe we're going down? So me, when I write as well, especially when I'm writing with someone else, it's much better to have a direction and a a theme in mind, you know? So if our themes align, our sounds align, let me know. I'm always up for collaborating. In the future, you can expect big things. I won't say too much, but I'll say big things because that's just me. I'm always going to do something big, especially if I'm doing all this right now. I think, imagine how far I'll be in a year, 2 years, 3 years. You never know. So yeah, big things coming. I have been doing some of the things I've done. I would say my biggest accomplishment, the thing that I'm most happy about that I'm doing right now, is my mashup Fridays. So every Friday, if you check on my page, there will be a new mashup of new, fresh songs, covers mainly of a lot of people's favorite songs. So there's some Lauryn Hill in there, there's some Doche, there's some Victoria Monet, there's some old school R&B, all your favorite songs. Check on my page. A mashup will be there for you, I promise. I think people should take me seriously because I'm not to be played with. I am very driven, very straight to the point, very direct. So if we are working together, I will make sure that things are going to go a certain type of way because it is my brand, my image on the line. So if you work with me and I annoy you and I'm messaging you all the time, I apologize. I'm just trying to make sure that for the both of us, it's the best possible outcome. You can find me on everything. You can find me on Instagram. It's Shia Marí. That's my name on Instagram. Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, all the streaming platforms you can find me. On YouTube, I will be uploading Mashup Fridays on YouTube and TikTok as well. So not just Instagram, all free.